Today, we're going to dive into a powerful idea from Julia Galef's The Scout Mindset, and we're going to do it by telling a true story about a single piece of trash that almost tore an entire nation apart, and in the process, revealed something fundamental about the two ways our minds work.
So, picture this. It's Paris, 1894. Inside the German embassy, a cleaning lady, who happens to be a French spy, is going through the trash. She finds a torn-up memo in a wastebasket, pieces it back together, and discovers it lists French military secrets that are being sold to the Germans.
This one little scrap of paper would ignite a scandal so huge it would divide the entire country for years. It became known simply as the Dreyfus Affair.
As you could imagine, the French army completely panicked. This memo was proof there was a traitor in their highest ranks, and so the hunt was on.
Pretty quickly, suspicion fell on one man, Captain Alfred Dreyfus. Now, the evidence against him was incredibly weak, but he wasn't very popular with his colleagues, and maybe most importantly, he was the only Jewish officer on the general staff.
So, the army had their guy. Now, all they needed was the proof. And how they went about building their case, well, that reveals what Julia Galef calls the soldier mindset.
It was a total mess. They started treating rumors like they were solid evidence. When the handwriting analysis came back all over the place, they just fired the expert who said it didn't match. They searched Dreyfus's home, found absolutely nothing, and their conclusion? He must be really good at hiding the evidence. You see what's happening here? They'd already decided he was guilty. They just twisted the facts to fit their story. And just like that, Dreyfus was convicted and exiled for life.
This is a classic case of what psychologists call motivated reasoning. It's when our hidden goals, wanting a quick conviction or confirming our own biases, end up steering our thinking. The crazy part is we don't feel biased. We feel like we're being totally objective. But really, our judgment is being driven by a desire to win. That's the soldier mindset in a nutshell.
This creates a huge double standard in our thinking. For evidence we like, stuff that confirms what we already believe, the bar is super low. We just ask, can I believe this? But for evidence we dislike, suddenly the bar is incredibly high. We ask, must I believe this? We're basically looking for any excuse, any loophole to reject it.
In the soldier mindset, our beliefs aren't just ideas anymore. They become fortresses. And the goal is no longer about finding the truth, it's just about defense. Admitting we're wrong feels like a total surrender.
But the story is not over. Not by a long shot. Dreyfus is rotting in prison. The case is officially closed. But then, a new character enters the stage, and he is the most unlikely hero of this entire story.
Meet Colonel George Picquart. He's the new head of counter-espionage, and you have to understand this guy is a patriotic, career military man, and he's also an admitted anti-Semite. He was absolutely convinced that Dreyfus was guilty. In fact, his new job was to dig up even more evidence to prove it. But then, something totally unexpected happens. His unit intercepts another note to the Germans, but it's from a different spy, an officer named Ferdinand Esterhazy. Just as part of his job, Picquart takes a look at Esterhazy's handwriting, and he gets this weird feeling of familiarity. He goes to the files, pulls out that original memo that got Dreyfus convicted, and he lays them side by side. His heart just stops. The handwriting isn't just similar, it is identical. They have the wrong man in prison.
In that single moment, Colonel Picquart was at a massive crossroads. Everything he believed, everything his career was built on, was suddenly thrown into doubt. And the choice he made reveals that second, much rarer way of thinking.
When Picquart took this discovery to his superiors, they were furious. They told him to bury it, and they gave him all these flimsy excuses. I mean, think about it. Admitting they made a huge mistake meant a massive scandal for the army and absolute career suicide for Picquart. He had every single reason in the world to just stay quiet.
But he didn't. He chose what Julia Galef calls the scout mindset. A scout isn't trying to win or lose. A scout's job is simply to see the terrain as clearly as possible and bring back an accurate report. The goal isn't defending the map you already have, it's drawing the most accurate map of reality you possibly can.
And this right here is the fundamental split. The soldier's goal is to defend, the scout's goal is to understand. The soldier asks, can I believe it? The scout asks, is it true? It really is the difference between defending a fortress and drawing a map.
Picquart pursued the truth relentlessly, even though it cost him his career and even got him thrown in prison. Years later, after Dreyfus was finally exonerated, someone asked Picquart why he risked everything.
His response was simple: because it was my duty. His duty wasn't to his tribe or his career, but to the truth.
So what does a 100-year-old spy story have to do with us? Well, everything. This isn't just some dusty old history lesson. It's about how our own minds work every single day.
The reality is, we all have a soldier and a scout inside of us. Think about the last disagreement you were in. Were you defending a fortress, or were you trying to update your map? That soldier mindset is kind of our default setting, but the scout mindset is where real clarity comes from.
To a soldier, being wrong is a threat. It's a defeat. But to a scout, finding out you're wrong is a gift. It's not a failure. It's the discovery of a flaw in your map, which gives you the chance to make it better and more accurate.
Ultimately, the challenge is this: to stop treating our beliefs as our identity. They aren't who we are. They're not fortresses we have to defend to the death. They are simply our current map of the world. And a good scout is always asking themselves, is it time for an update?